In this technology training quick tip, we're going to talk about a view option in Excel called Freeze Panes. What freezing panes allows you to do is to lock a certain row or column in its place so that when you scroll, you're able to see that row or column at all times. Here's an example of a worksheet that has not had any panes frozen. And if I scroll here with my mouse, you'll see that as soon as I scroll down a little bit, the very first row gets hidden. Now if I were to go and freeze the top row and do the same motion, scroll down with my mouse, you'll see that that first row stays stuck, and I can always see what kind of values are in each of my columns. Now, the way we went about doing this was by going here to the View tab in the ribbon in Excel. You'll notice that on the View tab, towards the right-hand side, there's an area here called Window. And in that window area, there is a button called Freeze Panes. Now, when I click on this, you'll see that I have 3 freeze pane options. One of the most common ones to do is to simply choose this Freeze Top Row option. When I do that, you'll see that a thin, dark line underscores the entire first row, and when I scroll now, it stays stuck. If I decide I want to freeze panes differently, I can go up to that same freeze pane drop down, and you'll notice now that I have an unfreeze pane option that I can click on, and that thin line goes away. I can do the same thing to freeze the first column, just choosing this first column option here. You'll see that thin, dark line between columns A and B, and if I were to scroll over here to the right, you'll see that any column after column A is tucked behind it. Now, in this freeze pane area, I'm going to unfreeze panes again and talk about how you can freeze both columns and rows at the same time. The important thing to remember here is that you have to choose a cell that is directly below the row you want to freeze and directly to the right of the column you want to freeze. You'll see right now that I have cell B2 selected. I have selected this cell because I'd like to freeze row 1 and column A. Cell B2 is one row below the row I want to freeze and one column to the right of the column I want to freeze. With that selected, if I go to my freeze panes and choose freeze panes, I now have a darker line between rows 1 and 2 and columns A and B. I'll just demonstrate for you by scrolling my mouse wheel that that top row is frozen, and I can use my horizontal scroll bar to show you that the leftmost column is also frozen. Thanks for watching this technology training quick tip. For more information, please visit our website.